What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $1,400 third stimulus check update and fourth stimulus check update. Lots of new information coming in about some people getting partial checks, getting less than they're supposed to. We're going to talk about Social Security, SSI, SSDI, new information about when we could expect to see the direct deposits and the deposits on the direct express cards. We're also going to talk about the fourth stimulus check coming out in the near future. Lots to talk about here. And make sure to stay to the end of the video for a special guest appearance. Somebody wants to say hi to you. So make sure to watch to the end. Don't forget to hit the like button and let's jump right in. The U.S. House of Representatives voted today to avert a deep Medicare cuts to pay for the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. I'm going to give you the details here. The measure is likely to become the subject of negotiations later on in the year over government spending and debt. The U.S. House of Representatives voted on Friday, today, to avert an estimated $36 billion in cuts to Medicare next year and tens of billions of dollars more from farm subsidies and other social safety net programs, moving to stave off the deep spending reductions that would otherwise be made to pay for the $1.9 trillion stimulus package enacted last week. The action, opposed by the vast majority of Republicans, would effectively exempt President Biden's pandemic aid package, the third stimulus check package that was passed, from a deficit reduction law that requires that all spending be offset by automatic across the board cuts to certain government programs. That's because of the reconciliation process. It's kind of a process to when you pass a bill through reconciliation process that it's supposed to be paid from other programs, and the Democrats are trying to get rid of that so that basically Medicare won't have a $36 billion cut to it. Democrats, it was passed by a vote of 246 votes, mostly all Democrats, to 175 no votes, all Republicans. 29 Republicans joined Democrats to support it. So basically, about 75% of Republicans here, 175 of them, voted no, basically saying they do want a $36 billion cut in Medicare. But the vote passed 246, all Democrats and 29 Republicans voting to not have a $36 billion cut to Medicare. In passing the virus aid plan, Democrats used a fast track budget process, known as the Budget Reconciliation Bill, to push past Republican opposition, arguing that urgent needs brought on by the pandemic outweighed concerns about running up the national debt. But the maneuver meant that Congress had to act separately to prevent the automatic cuts, which would go into effect in January of next year if lawmakers do not act. This bill now goes to the Senate, where they will need Republican senators to pass the bill. I think they're going to need 60 votes on this, so they're going to need 10 Republican votes and all 50 Democratic senators to prevent a $36 billion cut to Medicare and other programs such as farming programs. Democrats remain confident that even though they oppose the stimulus package, the Republican senators would eventually support the legislation to avoid cutting Medicare, farm subsidies, and social services block grants to pay for it. But the debate was a chance for members of both parties to make their dueling cases about the government spending priorities after the enactment of one of the most expansive federal rescue packages in modern times. Now, remember, there's a lot of criticism going around on the third stimulus check package, mostly from Republicans, because no Republicans supported it. This is the number six stimulus package that is passed. 5 other packages were passed last year. 3 of them have now had checks. There were some other minor packages in there too that had money for funding the vaccine and small business programs and stuff like that. But there was 5 packages passed, mostly under Republican control, the Republican Senate and the Republican presidency with the Democratic House. So 5 packages were passed under Republican majority control, and 1 package has been passed under Democratic control. Republicans are all like against this 1 package that had been passed, but they passed 5 packages last year under Republican control. So As my father would say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I don't really think, and again, I always try to remain neutral here. I'm a realist. I'll tell you things how I see them. If Joe Manchin from the Democrat side is doing something that is blocking, millions of people from receiving aid, I'll let you know just as much as I'll tell you Mitch McConnell from the Republican side is doing the same thing. I really don't think that the Democrats should be getting all this criticism from Republicans for the one stimulus package that they've passed so far. Because again, under Republican control, Republican President Trump and Republican Senate Mitch McConnell, they passed five packages. Five packages. Now the Republicans are all up in arms over one package being passed under Democratic control. I really don't think the criticism is should be what it is, but you can let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. The Democrats already have another package on the way, so that would if and when they pass the next package, known as the Build Back Better package, an infrastructure package that is supposed to create millions of jobs, but there's likely to be multiple stimulus provisions in there. We already have dozens of Democrats pushing for at least one stimulus check. They're actually pushing for multiple monthly stimulus checks in there. We could see a return of the $2,000 per month stimulus plan. That'd be best case scenario. Worst case scenario would be one more check in the next package. Even if that happens, that would be five packages passed under Republican control and two packages passed so far under Democratic control. So everybody just keep that in mind here. It's not like the Democrat, and again, I'm not for the Democrats or for the Republicans. I'm just telling you how it is. Five packages Republican control, one package Democratic control. It's not like the Democrats are spending out of this world here. I mean, remember, 5-1. So just keep that in mind. Next, let's move on to $1,400 stimulus checks from the third stimulus check package and the delays and the unfortunate news of people getting less than they're supposed to. Woosah, woosah. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, you ready? Let's jump into the bad news. Okay, first up, multiple reports of thousands of families reported receiving less than their full stimulus checks, some even receiving half of the stimulus checks that they were supposed to get. As you can see here, families throughout the United States reported only getting half of the economic impact payments that they were expecting to get this week. The revelation comes days after the Biden administration had announced that 90 million payments, a little bit over half of what is supposed to go out, have already been distributed. The $1,400 stimulus payments or stimulus checks were to provide qualifying Americans earning an adjusted gross income of $75,000 or less, while those making from $75,000 to $80,000 would earn a prorated check. For families filing jointly, the payments would be $2,800 for a family of two. Dependents also earn $1,400 if their parents or caregiver, the person claiming the dependent, qualified. For Jesse Rodriguez, he was expecting a $7,000 check this week. Instead, he received half of that, $3,500. A spokesperson for Chase Bank confirmed that the bank has deposited the amount it received from the IRS. Other banks have also confirmed that they have processed the full amount given to them. An IRS spokesperson told Scripps that there is nothing systematic that is preventing full payments from going to Americans. The spokesperson noted that 90 million payments only reflect slightly over half of all the payments that the federal government will distribute as they're going out in waves. We'll talk about that here in a second about the checks that haven't been sent out yet. The spokesperson said one reason some are not seeing their full payment is due to the changes in the number of dependents. A number of separated parents reported that they switch which parents claim them on their taxes every other year. The spokesperson noted that parent A claimed a child in 2019, and if its parents B turned to claim the child in 2020 but had yet to file their 2020 taxes, the stimulus check will go to parent A, the last person who filed the tax return. Another reason for not getting the full amount could be due to changes in income. The spokesperson noted that there will be an opportunity for those that are owed a full stimulus check to claim the rest of their check in the future. I'll keep you up to date on this. You're not going to miss out on that payment, the IRS spokesperson says. The IRS will have a rebate process on the 2020 tax returns. Those tax returns, however, won't be filed until nearly a year from now. In the meantime, the IRS spokesperson recommended continuing to check the Get My Payment tab on the IRS website and says, quote, your money may still be coming. Let me know if you or anybody you know, any family members, gotten only half or less of their stimulus check than they were supposed to receive. Let me know down below in the comments. The IRS also warns about potential delays for the child income tax credits. Also, we call them the child stimulus checks here. This is separate from the $1,400. The children get $1,400 stimulus checks and a $3,000 to $3,600 child income tax credit that is going to be paid out from the IRS in monthly intervals of $250 to $300 per month. Well, the IRS says there could be delays for that too. The $3,000 to $3,600 child income tax credits says it's at risk of early delays as the IRS grapples with massive tax backlogs and a recent decision to extend the tax filing deadline for 32 days into May 17th instead of April 15th. The agency's commissioner, Charles Rettig, raised the potential for hiccups at a hearing Thursday in front of the House of Representatives House Ways and Means Committee. Though he pledged the IRS officials would, quote, do their best to get the highly touted coronavirus aid effort up and running by July, as Congress had intended. Under the law known as the American Rescue Plan, lawmakers with the backing of President Biden approved a sweeping yet temporary expansion of the country's child tax credit. The government aims to pay parents $3,000 per year for kids ages 6 through 17 and $3,600 per year for children under the age of 6 on a periodic basis, replacing the smaller annual credit that families typically claim on their yearly tax returns. With a massive backlog of 24 million tax returns accrued over the past few years and other stimulus responsibilities on the horizon, Rettig raised the possibility that the IRS may not have the personnel to set up an online portal for the new program. The digital hub is supposed to allow Americans to communicate key information with the government, such as changes to their income or marital status, that the IRS would otherwise not know, and it may determine the families that are eligible for the monthly payments of $250 to $300 per month. So basically, the IRS is just extremely behind when it comes to the stimulus checks, the direct deposits, the tax returns, the child income tax credits, and the $10,000 unemployment income tax credit. I'll have some more information for you guys in the next video. But yeah, basically, they're very behind and they're trying to get everything out as fast as possible. And of course, the pandemic and the personnel shortage because of that is not really helping. On the Social Security direct deposit, SSI, SSDI, SSA, railroad benefits, veterans, Social Security covers all you guys when I say Social Security. Well, we're still waiting on the direct deposits and the direct deposits to Direct Express cards. Both of them have not been sent out. Here's the latest directly from Direct Express. As you can see here from the Direct Express Twitter account, says the IRS is issuing economic impact payments, stimulus checks, also known as stimulus payments, to eligible recipients over the next few weeks. Keyword there, next few weeks. For the most current information on individual stimulus payments, go to the IRS Get My Payment Tool portal. A lot of people are real worked up and upset about this part right here. And also, I've seen people comment down below in the comments that they called the IRS or they called their Direct Express phone number and basically got the same information that they will be sent out in the next few weeks. I personally think that this is just kind of a generic message, which is basically saying they don't know when they're going to be sent out, and they're not trying to say that they're going to be sent out tomorrow or the next day because honestly, they're just not sure yet. Basically, they just have not been sent out yet. And this, to me, looks like a blanket statement that just kind of covers them that they'll be sent out over the next few weeks. So that could be tomorrow. That could be 2 or 3 days from now. That could be 7 days from now. Basically, they just have not been sent out yet. So if you're waiting on a stimulus check and you're under Social Security or any of the Social Security benefits blankets, basically they have not been sent out yet. I get a lot of people that are like worried they're not going to get the check and they're not eligible. Am I not going to get it? All these things. It's very simple. You're going to get a check if you have a social security number and you make below the income requirements of $75,000 to $80,000 for an individual, $112,500 for a single filer head of household, and double the $75,000 for a couple. $150,000 below, between $150,000 and $160,000, you get a reduced check. Over $160,000, you don't get a check. So if you're below the income requirements and you have a social security number and you're not a dependent, you will be getting a check. All dependents are getting a check this time around. So if you're an adult dependent, you're getting a check, but it goes to the person who claimed you as a dependent. So, for example, if I claimed my mom as a dependent on my tax return, my mom technically doesn't get the check. I get the check for her. So I would get $1,400 and I would get $1,400 for all my dependents. So in this example case, I'd get a $1,400 check for me. I'd get a $1,400 check for my wife if it's a joint account. We're going to both get $1,400. Our 2-year-old son, Julian, who might be making a special appearance here in just a minute, stay tuned. He gets a check, but again, it doesn't go to the 2-year-old, just like it wouldn't go to a 10-year-old. It goes to the person who claims them as a dependent. Most of the time, that's their parent. Okay, it's the parent who claims them as on the tax return as a dependent if you're separated. Okay, so if I claimed my mom, my adult mother, who's obviously older than me, since she's my mother, there's $1,400 for her, but it's going to go to me, the person who claims them as a dependent. Okay, so as long as you have a social security number, you make below the income requirements, and you're a dependent or not a dependent, remember you're going to get $1,400, but it's going to go to the person who claims you. You'll get a stimulus check. Okay, so don't worry that you're not going to get it. Okay, they just haven't sent out that batch of stimulus checks yet. One way or another, you'll get the stimulus check, and in time, I'll keep you up to date on all of this information as we get more information, as well as the 4th stimulus check package coming out, the $200 per month Social Security raise, student loan forgiveness, which President Biden just canceled $1 billion of student loans today. Watch one of my past videos if you are interested in that, because that's really big and there's more on the way. That's really just a sliver of what is coming. And there's multiple different rounds of stimulus and stimulus packages on the horizon. So I'll keep you up to date on all this. Make sure you're subscribed down below. It's completely free to do so. It just makes it so you're more likely to see the videos when they come out. Click the bell icon after subscribing to all notifications to get notifications when we go live for the first 3 videos of the day, which is 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have an 11 p.m. video, which is actually this video. But you got to remember to just tune in for that video. It's 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Subtract some hours if you're in another time zone. And I'll keep you up to date on all these things. All right. Say hi.
Hi.
Who's out there? Who's out there? Who do you want to say hi to?
Yoda.
Yoda.
I can get him.
Yeah, that's Baby Yoda.
Now I better get him.
Yeah.
I better get him.
You better get him.
You better get it. No, let him stay there.
Yeah, Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda.
All right, bring him over. Bring him over.
Baby Yoda. You're home. Baby Yoda.
How do you know about Baby Yoda?
Baby Yoda.
How do you know about Baby Yoda?
I can take him to him.
Huh?
I can take him to his mama.
You're going to take him to his mama?
Yeah.
Who's his mama?
And
Who?
yeah.
Mama Yoda?
Yeah. I'm gonna take it to Mama Yoda. I'm gonna take it to Mama Yoda.
Say hi, Mama Yoda.
Hi, Mama Yoda.
All right, can you tell everybody you're going to go night-night?
I'm gonna go nanny.
Yeah, and can you say good night to everybody?
Good night, Job. Good night.
Say thanks for watching.
I'm going night with baby.
You going to go night-night with the baby?
Now I'm going with him.
All right, say good night-night. We love you.
Good night, Daddy.
Say bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And come with us.